$440 million. I just want you to sit with that number for a second. It's a staggering amount of wealth.
It is. It's the kind of number that doesn't feel real. It's, the budget of a massive Hollywood movie times 2.
And just imagine losing all of that
Yeah.
in 45 minutes. That's about $10 million just evaporating every single minute.
It's an insane burn rate. You go to
Yeah.
get a coffee, come back to your desk, and you're $20 million in the hole.
Right. And usually when we talk about losses that big, we're picturing, I don't know, a massive bank heist or a Ponzi scheme collapsing.
Or global market crash,
Yeah.
right? Something huge and visible. But that's not what this deep dive is about. This is quieter.
And honestly, a lot scarier. We're
Oh,
talking about a software update, a
Okay.
routine code deployment that went so wrong it didn't just lose money, it vaporized a 17-year-old Wall Street giant in under an hour.
We're looking at the collapse of Knight Capital Group. It happened on August 1st, 2012. And the source material on this is just, it's fascinating because it's not really a finance story.
It's a tech story.
It's a technology horror story. It's about what our sources call the automation wall.
And that's our mission today. We're not just here to point at the spectacular crash. We want to understand why it happened. Because looking at the research, Knight wasn't some, fly-by-night operation.
Not at all. Knight Capital was a titan. They were a market maker.
Okay, so for anyone not deep in the weeds of finance, what does that actually mean?
It means they were the ones keeping the gears of Wall Street greased. They stood ready to buy or sell shares basically all the time just to make sure the market was liquid. They handled something like 17% of all trading on the NYSE and NASDAQ.
17%, that's massive.
It's huge. They'd spent 17 years building this reputation. They had the best of everything.
So they had the best tools, the most money, the smartest people, and yet it all falls apart one morning. And the thing that jumps out at me is that this failure, even though it's over a decade old, feels like a blueprint for the risks we face now with AI.
That's the key. The fundamental error they made, this collision between a rigid system and real-world complexity, is more relevant today than it ever has been.
Okay, so let's get into it. Take us to that morning, August 1st, 2012. What's the scene?
It's 9:03 a.m. Eastern. The opening bell is about to ring. And inside Knight Capital, it's probably just another Wednesday. They're getting ready to participate in a new program from the NYSE called the Retail Liquidity Program, the RLP.
Which was just a new way to trade stocks, basically.
Exactly. It was meant to give regular retail investors slightly better prices. To do it, Knight had to update their trading software.
Standard stuff. The rules of the game change, so you update your code.
Right. They were updating a system called SMARS, the Smart Market Access Routing System. And you have to understand, SMARS wasn't just some script. This thing was a beast.
The notes call it financial automation at its peak.
It was. Its job was to take a huge order, a parent order, and just chop it up into thousands of smaller child orders. It would route them everywhere to get the best price, track them, and this is the important part, stop when the order was filled.
That stop part seems pretty critical.
It's the most important part. So in the days leading up to this, engineers are deploying the new code for this RLP program. It's got 8 servers dedicated to this.
8 servers seems like a small number.
Well, they're finely tuned race cars. It's all about speed. So the engineers push the update, they deploy the new code, but they make a mistake.
The fatal error.
A manual error.
Mm.
One of the technicians updated 7 of the servers, but he missed the 8th one.
Ugh, it's always the one you forget.
Exactly. So you start the trading day with a split brain. 7 servers are running the new code, and 1 is still running the old configuration.
Now, normally that might just throw an error message, right? But that's not what happened here. What was so dangerous about that old code?
This is where it gets spooky. It's the ghost in the machine. To save time, the developers had decided to repurpose an old flag in the code.
A flag, like a digital on-off switch.
Precisely. For years, this switch did one thing. Let's say it turned on a light. But now with the new code, they rewired it so that same switch turned on a fan instead.
Okay, I'm with you.
7 updated servers knew the switch now meant fan. But the 8th server, it was never rewired. It still thought that switch meant light.
And what was the light in this case? I have a feeling it wasn't good.
It was a dormant, unused test algorithm called PowerPeg.
PowerPeg. Sounds like a wrestling move.
It might as well have been. PowerPeg was written way back in 2003, and its job was, well, it was specifically designed to buy high and sell low.
Wait. I have to stop you. Why would anyone write code to intentionally lose money?
To test your other systems. It's like a crash test dummy. You need something that will act irrationally to see if your safety features, your airbags, actually work.
That actually makes a strange kind of sense. You simulate a disaster to make sure you can handle one.
Right. But here's the thing. Knight hadn't used PowerPeg in years. It was dead code. Just digital dust sitting on the server waiting for that switch to be flipped.
So 9:30 a.m. hits, the market opens.
The orders start flowing. The 7 updated servers see the flag and say, great, let's do this new RLP trade. Everything's fine.
But then an order hits server number 8.
And server 8 sees that flag and says, oh, it's PowerPeg time. Let's test the system.
It woke up a zombie.
It woke up the zombie.
Oh.
But it gets so much worse because back in 2005, during some code cleanup, the engineers had removed the part of the code that told PowerPeg when to stop.
Why would they do that?
Because no one was using it. They were just tidying up. They broke the feedback loop. So when PowerPeg woke up, it had a command to trade, but no way to know when the trade was actually done.
So it just kept going.
Over and over and over. It was submitting thousands of orders a second, trying to fill an order that it could never complete, just screaming into the market.
Buying high, selling low, thousands of times a second.
It was basically a fire hose of money, just spraying free cash at anyone else trading that day.
How long did it take for someone to notice?
4 minutes. By 9:34 a.m., the analysts at the NYSE are staring at their screens thinking, what is going on? Trading volumes are double what they should be.
Double in 4 minutes. That's a tsunami.
It is. They traced it back to Knight almost immediately and called them. The message was basically, we don't know what you're doing, but shut it down.
So now we're in the war room at night. The phone is ringing. Alarms are probably going off. What's the feeling in there?
Absolute chaos. They have no idea what's happening. Is it a hack? A hardware failure? And the worst part, which the sources highlight, is they had no documented incident response plan for this.
They were making it up as they went along.
Completely. They spent 20 critical minutes, which is an eternity in trading, just trying to figure out what was wrong.
And eventually someone says, hey, we deployed new code this morning. The market's on fire. It has to be the new code.
It's the logical conclusion. So the IT team makes a decision that is described as rational but heartbreaking.
They decide to roll back the update.
Exactly. The classic Control-Z. Just undo it. Put yesterday's version back on.
Which, I mean, that's what any of us would do. My phone app crashes. I want the old version back. What was wrong with that?
Well, think about the root of the problem. One server had the bad old code, and 7 had the good new code.
Right, the split brain.
So when they ordered the rollback, they told the techs, take that new code off the 7 servers and restore the old version.
Oh, I see it now.
I think you see it.
They didn't fix the 8th server. They made the other 7 exactly like it.
They poured gasoline on the fire. What was a 1-server problem became an 8-server catastrophe. Now, all 8 servers were running the zombie algorithm at full capacity.
That is just... It's tragic. They thought they were hitting the emergency brake, and they actually stomped on the accelerator.
For the next 24 minutes, until they literally started unplugging machines, Knight Capital was a company operating at 100% capacity on a suicide mission.
Let's talk about the damage. When the dust settled, how bad was it?
In those 45 minutes, they executed over 4 million trades, traded almost 400 million shares.
And these are all bad trades.
All of them. They ended up holding a $7 billion bag of stocks they never wanted.
$7 billion of exposure. That's companies over kind of money.
It was. The final realized cash loss after they unwound all those trades was $440 million, which was basically their entire market capitalization.
Gone.
Wiped out. Knight Capital was sold for parts, essentially.
Yeah.
A 17-year legacy. Gone in less time than it takes to watch a sitcom.
It's just an incredible failure. So let's pivot to the so what. You mentioned this automation wall. This seems like the perfect example.
It's the definition of it. The automation wall is that point where the rigid logic of a machine just slams into the complexity of the real world.
Because the computer was just doing what it was told. It wasn't being malicious.
Not at all. It was being perfectly obedient. The code said, C flag, run PowerPeg. And it did, with flawless, machine-like precision. It just lacked any context.
It didn't know it was burning the company down.
It didn't know it was 2012. It didn't have a concept of money. It didn't know losing $10 million a minute is bad. It just had a command and a loop.
And the humans couldn't keep up.
That's the other side of the wall, the speed. When your system operates in microseconds, human reaction time is basically 0. By the time your brain even processes something is wrong, the machine has already executed another 1,000 bad trades.
And their attempt to intervene, the rollback, was based on that limitation. They had incomplete information.
Exactly. They made a logical choice based on a simple rule. New code bad, old code good. They couldn't see the hidden complexity. That old code was a landmine.
Which brings us to the connection you made with AI. Because today we have these supposedly smart agents. Surely they wouldn't make a mistake this simple.
Well, that's the hope. The argument is that the Knight Capital disaster is the ultimate case for moving from their kind of automation to what we call agentic systems.
Okay, break that down for me. What's the difference?
Knight had a deterministic system. If X, then Y. It's a recipe. An agentic system has, well, it has agency. It has goals. It can reason. It can learn.
So if Knight had an AI agent running the show that morning, what would have been different?
Two key things. First, learning. Knight's system made 4 million bad trades and didn't learn from a single one. An AI agent should have looked at the first 10 trades and gone, wait a minute, I'm losing money on every single one of these. This violates my goal of being profitable.
And it would have stopped itself.
Ideally, yes, it was self-correct. SMARS could do that. It was only programmed to follow the process, not evaluate the outcome.
Okay, what's the second thing?
Collaboration. This is huge. Think about that moment they decided to roll back the software.
The gasoline on the fire moment.
Right. An agentic system shouldn't just be a tool. It should be a partner. Imagine if the engineer typed rollback and a message popped up saying, warning, this will reactivate the deprecated power peg module, which is flagged for testing only. Are you absolutely sure?
Wow. Yeah, that one sentence changes everything.
It saves the company because the system understands the implication of the command, not just the command itself. It has context.
So we're moving from tools that just do what you say to partners that can say, hey, are you sure you want to do that?
That's the promise. But, and it is a very big but, this brings a whole new set of risks.
Of course.
Knight failed because its system was too rigid, too obedient. An agentic system can fail because it gets too creative. What if it decides the best way to make a profit is to do something illegal or unethical that nobody foresaw?
Right. You tell it to maximize profits, and it decides to start a market panic to benefit a short position it took.
Exactly. We're trading the problem of blind obedience for the problem of unpredictable initiative.
So the lesson is you can't just set it and forget it, no matter how smart the system is.
Never. The sources all emphasize this. As we hand over more and more control to these systems, we need transparency. We need observability.
And you need a kill switch.
You absolutely need a kill switch. And you need to understand what's buried in the code. Knight's engineers had forgotten PowerPeg was even there. Complexity became the enemy.
Because if it's invisible, you can't manage the risk. It's really about building systems that can explain themselves.
Yes. If Knight's system could have just said, hey, I'm running a test right now, a human would have screamed, stop.
It's funny, we focus so much on whether AI can write a sonnet, but maybe its most important skill is just having the common sense to know when to stop digging.
Or to ask for help when things don't look right.
So what's the final takeaway for you, the listener? Most of us aren't running Wall Street trading firms.
I think it's about auditing your own automated systems. We all use them. Auto pay for bills, smart home routines, workflow software at your job. And you should ask yourself, what happens if this breaks? Do I know how to turn it off? And if I try to fix it in a panic, do I actually know what I'm doing?
Or am I just about to roll back the software and turn on my own personal power peg?
It's exactly what they did, and they didn't survive it. It really proves that old saying, to err is human, but to really foul things up, you need a computer.
Knight Capital put a $440 million price tag on that quote.
They certainly did.
It's such a powerful story. It's about money, sure, but it feels like it's really about humility. About the danger of thinking we have these incredibly complex systems totally under control.
When sometimes the most dangerous thing is a system doing exactly what it was told to do.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.